Okay.
Hour.
I started recording even though we haven't started the cahoots yet because Aaron asked about going to the gym and what I think about that. You know, guys, we are surrounded by uh, naked women, essentially. Aramis made such a good point the other day. I thought it was really profound. But some people say, well, the women are not exactly naked. That is such an exaggeration, they say. They're just wearing extremely tight clothing. And Aramis very aptly pointed out that actually, guys, tight clothing makes the body more attractive than it normally would have been if it wasn't wearing anything. Because tight clothing very evenly distributes flesh, and if there is any fat or anything saggy, it makes it all perfectly, you know what? I'm not going to go into detail, but it just makes it actually much more aesthetically beautiful. So it's worse. All this tight clothing that all these women are wearing, it's just terrible. It is barely better than being naked. And being in a place like that, being in a gym where you're surrounded by those women, is very bad for your soul. And then also, just the idea of working out and spending a serious amount of time doing that. I just ask you what your motivation is for it. It is possible to do that with pure motives, but just make sure you stay honest with yourself and examine your own heart why you want to work out if you are one of those people that obsessively works out. Because a lot of people do it because they want to look handsome and they enjoy going to the gym and being looked at by other people, being looked at by women, and just in general. I'm not saying you have to do that, but I'm saying be really careful. It's a temptation. And just, I wouldn't ever want to be around those women. You should really invest in your own gym equipment if you can, but even that is kind of a waste of money. It's really up to
Uh,
you. I don't think it's a sin by itself, but it's a huge temptation to be around those women.
Thank you so much, Luke.
I would like to add that the church fathers do talk about that we should not strive for an artificial body like in a Greek gymnasium. Guys, whatever body you have at work is fine. Like God made the body so that whatever you do at work, your body adapts to it. If you lift up boxes and heavy things, your body will be stronger. If you work at a farm or whatever you work at a computer job, your body will just adapt to what you do. And if you want to go like extra, then it's like why? Like, why do you want bigger muscles than what you need to do in your job? It's just purely for vanity and aesthetic reasons. Either you want to attract men, like you want men to think you're strong, which is sinful, and what we think you want to attract women, which is sinful. So whatever reason you have for going to the gym is probably not a good reason. So, but if you do want to like go for a walk or like get like lift up weights at home, that would not be bad. But just once again, make sure you're doing it just for I don't know, like if you spend all day on a computer and you don't want your body to degrade, that's one thing. But if you want to have big biceps, then that's a bad reason. That's not a good reason.
Keep in mind, push-ups, ab exercises, you can do that anywhere. They're like calisthenics is universal, so you don't need a gym for that. Um, but I do like sympathize with wanting like a specific equipment. Like I don't have a chin up bar, so I'd have to go somewhere and find a chin up bar, to do like the dead hang or do some chin ups. But uh, yeah, motivation be like you want to feel healthy, you want to be functional, but if looks should never be the motivation for working out.
For sure. No, 100%.
Here, I
And
posted a quote by Tertullian. He says, "You will never give your approval to those foolish racing and throwing feats, and yet more foolish leapings. You will never find pleasure in injurious or useless exhibitions of strength. Certainly you will not regard with approval the strivings after an artificial body that aim at surpassing the Creator's work. And the wrestler's art is the devil's thing." So,
wow.
guys, that artificial body, which exists just to show off, doesn't do any work. It's pointless. Whatever body do at your work, guys, that's all you need. Anything extra. I mean, once again, if you're at the computer all day, it makes sense to not let your body degrade. That's one thing. But just, you work at UPS, you lift up boxes, you're strong, but you're like, well, I'm strong, but I want to actually have big chests and a big bowling ball shoulders. You know what they talk about in the YouTube videos? How to have big bowling ball shoulders. That's purely for just aesthetics, guys. And when everybody have at your work, that's good enough.
Yeah, and the male modesty as well. You know, as men, we'll we'll say, "Oh, women need to veil. They need to do this." We accept it, but when it comes to things like not getting the line up, being modest and modestly diminishing yourself so that you won't make anyone lust. Now that's where some people have the problem. Because it's easy to point out, you're not a woman, so it's easy to see, all right, this is a problem. Women need to veil, but yet still you're wearing all these fancy clothes. You're going to the barber to look fresh, to look clean, and you are clean, and women are going to be attracted to you if you dress like the world. So it's very good to modestly diminish yourself, and as Hermes says, do what you, do what you need, like, for your work.
No, for sure. And branching on that, like, for example, like, it's easier said, like, these women to veil and do all these things, but when it comes down to you, you're like, oh, but I want to do this for me. Like, you said, like, well, I'm not trying to be like, I don't want women to lust after me, but all these wicked things that are obviously going to make people lust after you. So it's easier said than done, for sure. It's easier to point out things.
You're right, Raheem. That's wisdom. Although, always remember that the man was never put under an obligation to cover himself, but he still should not actively try to attract women. But you're completely correct.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Luke, and thank you, everybody.
You're welcome. What were you saying, Hermes?
Did Robert join? Preston?
Robert. I don't see you, Robert. Oh, he said he's busy with stuff. What's he saying here?
Okay.
Robert says, I can't play. I'm at work. Well, good job going to work, Robert. Oh, it's a little late to be working. Hey, Preston joined.
Preston.
I'm going to make sure Yeah, everything looks good. All right, friends. Are we ready?
I'll be right. Not yet. My bad. I'll be right in there.
Oh, you want me to wait?
Yeah, please, real quick.
All right, I'm hanging.
All right, appreciate it.
You guys have chosen your profile pictures and you've kept them consistent.
Irenaeus Jr. You already know who it is.
I think I've changed my profile every time.
Same.
Who's Future?
Somebody.
Wonder about Adam. Are you in here?
All right, that's me.
Future.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Guillermo is here.
Yep. That's me. No, that's me. That's my middle name.
Oh, wait, what?
It's Aaron.
Oh, of course, Adam is Future.
I guess I never asked. I guess I never inquired as to what your middle name was. I just knew like your last name.
Yeah, that's my middle name.
All right,
you got
guys.
middle name?
What's your middle name, Isaiah?
Who wrote most of the New Testament?
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I know.
That's kind of unusual. My oldest brother is named Paul.
Wow, that's cool.
You're my oldest brother now. My middle name's Michael.
Nice. That's right.
Everybody can share their middle name if they want. All right, but I'm starting. Here we go. It beginneth. Recognitions. Quiz number 2. Is everybody... Wait, we have to stop. We have to stop.
What?
You're right. We have to start over. Hold it. Nobody click anything.
Okay.
We're going to go back. We're going to stop. We're going to exit. We're going to do everything. Wait. I forgot Raheem was gone. Somebody should have reminded me.
I did remind you. Well, just
Did he say that?
Wait, can I push buttons?
Try to push a button.
Everybody exit out of it or something.
Wait, go to like the back area. Have you tried that?
Will that actually break it, you think?
No.
I'd say you just close the app or the tab, whatever.
Okay, hold on a second. Aramis, I'm so sorry. I forgot Raheem was gone and nobody told me anything.
I didn't. I
I
didn't
thought I
leave.
saw him in here.
Okay, we're starting again. I'm loading the game pin and I'm going to send it a second
Just
time.
said he didn't leave.
Wait, he said he didn't
Clement.
leave?
No, I'm not here.
Oh, wait.
Wait, why didn't you speak up?
I thought he was gone.
No, I was speaking the whole time.
You should have yelled at me.
I thought it was Aaron that was gone.
Somebody was gone. Who was gone?
Am I mistaken? I thought it was Aaron.
Yeah, it was there.
No, I still have to do something, but
He's back.
Yeah, I was joining.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
guess.
guys. Everybody join up again.
No. I'm not. Oh, I thought you said everybody's in here. I was like, wait, I'm not in here yet. Let me change my profile pic to the snake with the glasses. Trying to be low key smart, you know.
You copying my swag, Adriano?
Hey, I just saw them and I couldn't resist.
They've all changed their profile pictures.
I'm gonna mute up. Good luck, y'all.
Is that everybody? Is everybody in?
Missing one person.
Yeah.
We're missing,
I think we're missing one person.
we're missing,
Whomst. Is it Preston?
yeah, Preston.
Preston, we're sorry. We know you're on your phone. You're trying to drive, and we did this to you.
Just trying to drive.
Yeah, this is kind of strange. Wait. Well, I'm
Trying to
not
drive
driving.
doing Kahoot is crazy because
I'm
you
not.
gotta.
No, I'm sitting. I'm parked. I'm parked.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
When we're doing Cahoots, Preston parks.
Yes.
I was able to. I did it on my phone the first time. I was just tabbing in and out really quickly. Question.
Wait. I need the.
Works.
Can somebody like say the pin?
179-311.
Say it again.
179-311.
Oh. 179.
There he is. Okay, round two.
We're missing one person.
Let's do it.
Wait, are we missing somebody again?
Oh yeah, I think somebody left. Who left? What is this?
No, I feel I'm
Glenn?
using my phone. I guess my thing.
Okay,
Nope.
okay, look,
Yeah, I don't know.
started.
Here we
Alright,
go.
we're good.
We're starting. You guys better not have been looking at the question or the answer. 3, 2, 1. True or false? Among the Jews, a king is called Christ. True or false?
I better not look goofy.
Some of you saw the answer already.
We need Brian and Dante.
The answer is true.
I'm on the podium. Let's go. I'm on the leaderboard. It's crazy.
In fact, anybody who's anointed is called a Christ. In the Old Testament, a priest was called Christ. Even a prophet was called Christ, or at least they called him Christ because he was christened. Do you guys know what Christ actually just means in its literal definition?
Anointed one.
The
Right.
anointed
Yeah.
one.
And so the kings would be anointed, prophets would be anointed, and priests would be anointed. And Jesus is unique because he's all three. He's king and prophet and priest. He's triple Christ. Alrighty, next one. That was kind of unique, Aramis. That was unexpected, but it is something that Peter talks about in recognitions. Alright, next question. Mr. Thaumaturgus is first place, and who joined?
Mikey joined.
Mikey.
Isaiah, don't take my second place.
Mikey, you want to join?
What are you guys doing?
We're doing a
Kahoot.
Kahoot. We're doing a quiz on recognitions of Clement. How much you remember? Have you read it yet?
That's hilarious. Yeah.
Cool.
One question to answer.
We've only gone through one question.
We only did one question. You can still catch up. You can beat them.
Luke, I think you need to paste a new link in. I don't know if that original link works.
It should. It should.
No, just give him the game pin. It's
Yeah,
at the bottom.
I've seen people join it from even though it's still going. I've seen people do that. Like join.
No, I
as-
meant because we restarted.
It is. I put in a new one. I'll delete the old one.
Okay.
Old one's gone. I'll delete the old one in the general.
This says get ready. I don't know.
Well, if you
Yeah,
want to
is that
put
what
in
it's
the
supposed
pin, it's Adriana put in the chat. It's 179-311.
So I click the link, put my name in, and it just says get ready. That's
Okay.
all it says. Get ready. You'll be able to join soon. So
Oh yeah, you were
Well,
joining on the
I
next.
think, I
Oh,
think
that's
we
right.
just need.
That's right. Yeah, because we're going to the next question. You'll join in just a second, Mikey.
Okay.
Who did we lose? What happened?
We lost.
Okay. By the way, I just won't be here that long. I
That-
do have to go to bed soon.
Oh, that's
But I
okay,
do
Mikey.
want to just do this.
Alrighty. Alrighty.
Lost Robert.
All right, he's working. He's not here anyway. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Quiz time. Which one of these offices did not require anointing? A king, prophet, general, or priest?
Don't give anything away.
Let's go. I'm cooking.
It's general. Yes. But a king or a
My first,
prophet or priest, they were all considered anointed or christened Christ.
in my first place.
It's nice to see everybody, or pretty much everybody, getting that answer. Cool.
I read the question wrong.
You
My
got it. You were
bad.
thinking of it the other way, backward.
Yeah. Like, who's
Alrighty.
not allowed to be there? Okay.
Okay, now. Who is Gregory Thaumaturgus? Is this you, Isaiah? No. You're Irenaeus Jr.
Yeah, I'm hearing this.
Isaiah, don't take my spot.
Alright, we go to the next one. True or false? Adam was not anointed. True or false? Adam was not anointed.
Shoot. Probably got it wrong. It's fine.
This is only contained in Recognitions. This is the only book that has this information.
I mean, Tertullian has it as well. Because we know that prophets are anointed and Adam did prophesy.
That's true. Yeah, many church fathers call Adam a prophet.
All right. I got that wrong.
It's quite amazing. Yeah, he does prophesy. Do you guys know where Adam prophesies?
Nope.
Well, they say the statement when he says, "She shall be called woman," they say that is a prophecy.
I thought that was just him well, not naming in the same.
Let me see if I can remember the meaning of the prophecy. This is
You're a
both
little
my
muffled, Raheem.
A little bit quiet, Raheem.
Hold on.
No, he didn't. I could hear him again.
Am I good?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see if I can remember the prophecy. Adam said, "This is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh." Like that's when God took her out of his rib, and she is called woman. That parallels Christ when you know God put Adam into this dream state. And Tertullian says that it represents Christ being put into, man, I can't remember, you know,
The Passion.
yeah, his passion, yes, his passion. And it's basically a parallel of Christ in the church, where Christ, in this state, he took a bride from his side, his suffering, which is the church, and he manifested this bride from his passion, and he calls her woman. Gosh, the church, because the church is personified as a woman. I could do it better, but I forgot most of it. But Luke can elaborate.
All right, we'll keep going. But yes, you're right. Tertullian does talk about that. All right, next question, guys. Ooh, a few people moved around. That was question 3. Question 4. Which schism did not exist around the time of Christ? So this means which heretical sect did not exist? The Justinians, the Samaritans, the Pharisees, or the disciples of John? Which sect did not exist around the time of Christ? Justinians, Samaritans, Pharisees, or the disciples of John? That's right. It's the Justinians.
I thought I got the wrong one, and I was like, wait, what's the disciples of John? Because I think I heard something in a call last night about um First John, like the Johns were written to address Gnostics, and like there are some people who were from John the Baptist following, but like they didn't start following Christ after he had came.
Right.
Is
You
that
you can even see that in the New Testament that a lot of them still didn't want to follow Jesus because they were so loyal to John the Baptist.
Yeah, I was bringing that up. The Mandeans, they still exist today. They're a remnant of them. They're like Gnostics who only follow John.
Yeah. All right, next question. I'm surprised at that one. That was shocking. All right, quiz time. Matthew was the first to counter the attacks of the high priest. What doctrine did he defend? Communion, baptism, pacifism, or almsgiving? Which doctrine did Matthew the Apostle defend against the high priest? Communion, baptism, pacifism, or almsgiving? This one's not too hard, guys. You can get this one. Nice, guys. I'm proud.
I thought it was pacifism, but I'm glad I went with baptism. I don't remember that.
Yep. They all defended, each of them defended a doctrine. Matthew got a really basic one, and he did a good job.
Expressed the wrong one.
It's okay, Adam. I know you knew it. Yeah, all the apostles were working together. They all were defending different doctrines in this huge epic scene where they're debating the priests, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the disciples of John. It's a very epic scene in recognitions. All right, next question. Everybody stays in their spot. Quiz time. What teaching are the Sadducees known for rejecting? Works, the resurrection, baptism, or fasting? Which doctrine did the Sadducees reject? Works, the
Luke,
resurrection, baptism, or fasting? Yes.
was that the
I
only
guess.
difference in between the Sadducees and the Pharisees, that they rejected the
Well,
resurrection?
almost. They rejected the resurrection, but because they rejected the resurrection, they ended up rejecting all the books of the Old Testament except the first 5 books of Moses. So that's an additional heresy they're guilty of. They also say that no soul and no angel exist. So they're basically atheists.
What? That's crazy. Like it's just crazy how rejecting one doctrine, it has like a ripple effect.
Right. I mean, you can see how if you don't acknowledge the spiritual realm, that there are souls and that there are spirits, there are angels, you are so close to denying God, even God exists. If you're that lacking in belief.
Yeah.
There are some Jews like that today, I believe. They differ.
Yeah, the Sadducees, well, it's true. Many Jews today are practically atheistical. They're very secular. But you guys know that, oh, this would have been a unique question. Do you guys know which sect Caiaphas was part of? Pharisees or Sadducees?
You said Caiaphas, like the high priest?
Mm-hmm.
Um, dang, I don't know. I wanna guess I don't know.
Was he
I
Pharisee?
think it has to be a Pharisee.
He was a Sadducee, guys.
No.
Is that not crazy? Josephus talks about it. Look, I have it on the screen here. Caiaphas was a Sadducee. Is that not insane?
Yeah, but how
This
did he become a high priest?
because he was friends with Herod. And guys, what happened to Israel mirrored what happened to the church. Because Herod actually took the sacred vestment, the ephod, which is the priestly garment, the high priestly garment, and he locked it up in a closet. And he said, I'll only give this to the highest bidder. And the Sadducees, although they were a minority, and everybody considered them to be a horrible heretical sect. In fact, the word sect in Greek is heresy. So if you ever see, like, in English they're saying sect, it's actually the Greek word heresy. But the rest of the Jews hated the Sadducees, but they had a lot of money, and they offered it to Herod, and Herod gave it to this wicked man named Caiaphas and let him be the high priest. And in the same way, Constantine and the emperors also were handing out the office of bishop to whoever went along with what they wanted. So it repeated just as it happened with the Israelites, it happened to the church. Pretty crazy, huh?
Truly nothing new under the sun.
Yep. Okay, we go to the next one.
I misclicked on this one. I knew the answer, but I got the wrong.
It's okay. Is that you, Adriana?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, by the way, Josephus talks about that with Caiaphas, and Rufinus and some of the other church historians corroborate that about Caiaphas being a Sadducee and that the priesthood was only given out to the highest bidder. Okay, quiz. The Samaritans believe that God should only be worshipped on which mountain? Gershom, Golgotha, Gamaliel, or Gerizim? Which mountain did the Samaritans
Yes,
worship
I
God?
I got that one wrong. I misclicked as well.
Raheem, I think I did what you did too.
Guys, with Aramis's quizzes, you got to take it slow. He's tricking you. He puts weird stuff on there.
Oh, I hope I put the right one, but I think I might have been too fast.
Which mountain?
Yes, it was Gerizim.
It
Raheem,
was.
you put Gershom on accident, huh?
Yeah, I knew the answer, but
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
after I clicked, I was like, no.
Be more concerned about getting the right answer than doing stuff fast, guys, because it'd be better to get lower amount of points than to get nothing at all.
No points. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Garism
I
was the
lost
only
my
one I
place.
recognized, so that's what I went with. That's the only name that I recognize.
Oh, Preston, what happened? Preston's in the lead. How did this
Nah,
happen?
Preston, I'm getting my get back.
All right, next
All right.
question. According to recognitions, who replaced Judas? Was it Barnabas, Matthias, Zacchaeus, or James? According to recognitions, who replaced Judas? Barnabas,
It was
Matthias,
Iscariot.
Zacchaeus, or James? What do you mean Iscariot? What does that even mean?
Iscariot replaced Judas. Now that would be funny if that was an option on here.
I knew it was two answers. I knew there was two.
Yeah, that was tripping me because I was like, I'm pretty sure it's Matthias.
Yeah, recognition says Barnabas and Matthias are the same person. They say Barnabas is the 13th apostle.
Wait, like they're like the same type of people?
The same
Or,
person that he went by two names. It was very common.
Oh, quite literally.
Some people even went by three names in the Bible, guys.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, and this is Epistle Barnabas, right?
Right.
Like companion of Paul Barnabas.
I actually knew this from reading Eusebius, but I was like, okay, I know it's Matthias, but I sort of remember that Barnabas and Matthias were the same, although I wasn't sure if that was a trick question or not.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know, so I'm just gonna go off what the New Testament says, and it was Matthias.
Yeah, it's interesting how sometimes in the Bible you've got people with multiple names. You've got, like, Peter. He goes by Peter and Simon and Cephas. And, some people, very different names. Like, people going by two names was very common. Like, Matthew was both Matthew and Levi. Jude was known as Jude and Thaddeus. And then Nathaniel is both Nathaniel and Bartholomew. So, very common, guys.
Huh.
Yep.
Kind of like Nathan and John.
Yep. All right, next question. Whoa, Preston, they're coming at you.
Yeah, Press, I told you.
But he has the biggest streak.
I took a long time to answer that one. That's why.
Good job, Preston. Well, you've got a good streak going, so keep it up. You guys are really close right now. All right, next question. What was prophesied to stand in the holy place? The atrocity of humiliation, the abominable depravity, the horrific travesty, or the abomination of desolation? What was prophesied to stand in the holy place, in the temple? The atrocity of humiliation, the abominable depravity, the horrific travesty, or the abomination of desolation?
I was like, wait, what's the question talking about? And I was like, I ain't never heard of these other ones, so it gotta be.
You got it, Isaiah. Aramis was just having fun. You're having a little too much fun, actually, Aramis. You need to tone it down. All right.
I like abominable depravity. That's good.
All right. Everybody kept their spot. Next question. Get ready. True or false? Gamaliel, a chief of the people, was secretly working for Caiaphas. Gamaliel, a chief of the people, was secretly working for Caiaphas. Even the Bible talks about Gamaliel. It says that Paul was taught by Gamaliel when he was a Jew. When Paul was just a Pharisee, I mean. Yes, the answer
Dang.
is false. He was not secretly working for Caiaphas. Peter says he was secretly still with the Christians, but that he didn't openly tell everybody. He didn't openly tell the Jews. He was working behind the scenes to see if he could get the Jews to accept Christ. Yep.
Dang. I didn't know about that, and I was like, that seems too random to be false, so I'm gonna go with true.
I have a question. Do you think it was Paul who started the riot?
Yeah, certainly.
I think it is.
Oh, yeah. It says I'm pretty sure it even talks about him later becoming the hand of the high priest. And we know that in Acts that he went and got special orders, got a special commission and authority to go and arrest Christians. He was the ringleader.
Yeah, it talked about that. Talked about him going to Damascus, I think.
Yep. Well, to Jericho.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or wait, road to Damascus? No, he's right. It is.
Jericho, but he went to Damascus.
That's right. I remember now. Yeah. Road to Damascus. That's correct. Good memory. Okay, we go to the next one. Ooh, Raheem. Really fighting hard against Preston, but he's right behind you. All right, next question. According to recognitions, Saul believed that James and the apostles were deceived by whom? Disitheus, Simon the magician, Caiaphas, or Labius? Saul believed that James and the apostles were deceived by whom? Disitheus, Simon the magician, Caiaphas, or Labius? Simon the magician is the correct answer. I'll be honest, I don't remember that, Aramis.
Me neither. I was like, I hope it's Simon.
He got me. He got me.
Raheem, you got that one?
Yeah. I guess though. I guess.
Yeah, we both guessed.
Yeah, I didn't think it could be Simon because I was like, how could Paul believe that they were deceived by Simon of all people?
Yeah, I thought that was a trick question. I thought you threw that in there as a trick answer. So I ruled that out first. I didn't even get enough time to click on an answer because I ran out of time. But like I ruled that out first quarter. I was gonna hit red.
Yeah, I clicked
didn't,
Dositheus. I thought it was a trick question as well.
I didn't even remember that one. But I'm not surprised. Okay, next. Get ready. True or false? The apostles and their friends decided not to fight back against their attackers because they were outnumbered. The apostles and their friends decided not to fight back against their attackers because they were outnumbered. True or false?
I like these two-part questions
Yeah, I misclicked.
because
I saw the video.
it's like, yeah, they ain't fight back, but that wasn't the reason why.
Right. Trick question.
'Cause-
Very sneaky, Aramis.
Yeah, like the one story they had like a whole bunch of Christians. They were all together. They could have easily like overthrown the people, but
Yes. I
you
think
know.
you all knew the answer to that one, but Raheem misclicked.
No, that was me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Preston, what are they doing to you? Look at this sad face you've
I didn't
got.
answer. I'm driving.
I see, but you knew the answer.
But I just got home, so now I'm chilling.
All right, next question, guys. Quiz time. After the apostles went to Jericho, what miracle did God perform to pacify the Jewish persecutors of the Christians? Darkening of the sun, blinding them all, whitening of the sepulchres, a torch that never burned out. After the apostles went to Jericho, what miracle did God perform to pacify, that means make them more gentle and not as angry, the Jewish persecutors of the Christians? Did he darken the sun? Did he blind them all? Did he whiten the tombs, the sepulchres, or a torch that never burnt out? Who said the whitening of the sepulchres?
That was myself, though. Honestly, it was an educated guess.
Nobody remembered that one. Well, I did remember that one at least. I didn't remember the last one, but I did remember that one.
Yeah. It was the fact that you, like, when you clarified what pacify meant. I'm just like, I don't think any of the other ones would really pacify them except for that one. Like that and the torch. I was between those two. Though the torch, I couldn't really see how it would necessarily, so I just went with this.
It is a nice little anecdote.
Remind me, what is a sepulcher?
It's a tomb. It's where a person is buried. So there was a miracle where the tombs of the Christians were whitened, right?
Yes.
The Christians who they had killed were miraculously like scrubbed clean and made very shiny. And everybody's going, that's weird.
Because usually a tomb gets very dirty over time.
Right. All right.
Okay.
Next quiz. Where is Simon Magus from? That's a good question, Aramis. Jericho, Damascus, Rome, or Samaria? Where is
the Damascus?
Simon Damascus? Where is Simon Magus from?
Wait, what are wait? Oh, I didn't hear about the widening of the sepulchres. Is there like a brief explanation? Only one person got that right.
Yeah, Kevon did it, and he said it was accidental, but it was a pretty good guess. It just means that after the Christians were being killed, they're being murdered. They had they were buried in the tombs, but then the tombs were miraculously, like overnight or something, over time they became super bright, very white on the outside, and nobody had scrubbed them, and it was clearly a miracle. So it was a way of saying these Christians were actually righteous people.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know about that. I think I remember something about that maybe in the scriptures, like widening of the sepulchres, but I probably glossed over it.
Yes. And the answer to Simon Magus is he is from Samaria. Most of you got it right. Nice job.
I ain't here because I got a phone call, so I have to definitely real quick.
You want me to wait for you?
No, I'm talking about like I didn't hear the last answer because
Oh,
of
I
that.
see.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Mikey's giving angry emojis. Mikey, you're doing all right. Okay, next question. Everybody ready? True or false? James sent Peter alone to confront Simon Magus without any helpers. James sent Peter alone to confront Simon Magus without any helpers. It is false. Peter had quite an entourage of people going with him.
Wait.
This says the answer is true.
Oh, wait, I mean, wait.
Yeah, I got it right. Let's go.
Aramis, I think you're wrong about this one.
Wait.
No, I think you forgot.
Yeah.
Oh.
He sent him alone, but he said with help of God he'd get many people afterwards. But initially he sent him alone.
Oh, it was a great.
Okay.
Give me the quote. I want the quote.
Oh, Luke, come on.
Look, I saw the red and I remembered the same way. Peter has this group of people. He's got Zacchaeus.
Yeah, afterwards.
So they all join him after he's going by himself.
I thought I remembered like them urging. I don't even remember James sending Peter. I remember Peter going, and the disciples who were there were like almost begging him to go with them.
No, I do remember James urging Peter, but I don't remember him going all by himself.
At first, I thought it was saying about Peter sending like someone to go spy on Simon Magus, and that's why I clicked false. Because I'm like, no, didn't he have someone with him? So I didn't even like really read the question right. But Aramis, you are tricky with the questions. That was definitely a good one.
Delay. No letter
No,
grieve
wait. You
that
have to say it out loud. You have to read it.
I don't have anything to read. You have to read it.
Wait. You have.
Therefore, make no letter grieve you that you set out alone.
Okay, let me read it here. James says, "Therefore make no delay, nor let it grieve you that you set out alone, knowing that God, by Jesus, will go with you and will help you, and that soon, by his grace, you will have many associates and sympathizers."
So you set out alone, and soon you'll have people. But initially, he set them out alone.
No, yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair.
Eh.
I think it's fair because like it was initial, even though he said you would have soon acquired many helpers by God's grace and like that. It was initially he sent him
All
alone.
right.
It says in the text, but
It does say he met Zacchaeus after that, so. All right. Very well. We continue.
We lost somebody.
It's too hard. These questions are too hard.
it was Mikey.
Yeah, Mikey.
All right, next question. Everybody ready? Here we go. Quiz. What habit does Peter say is good to cultivate to learn better? What habit? Fasting, the desire for good works, washing, or wakefulness? What habit does Peter say is good to cultivate to learn better? Fasting, the desire for good works, washing, or wakefulness?
Yeah, I got that one wrong.
It is wakefulness. He says, when you go to sleep, you should try to remember scriptures and things that you've learned. He says you should try to stay awake and actually fall asleep thinking about those things. And sleep as little as possible, which is called wakefulness. Alrighty.
Bro, who is G Thaumaturgus, bro? I'm like barely behind him by like what, like 90 points? I need to get the first place to show Nolan.
Whomst is it?
Wasn't it Aaron?
It's Aaron. It's crazy. Is that? There's no way that's Aaron.
No, that's not me.
Well, that's not. Oh, who is it?
Look,
It's not
this
Adriano.
person who's
Is it
not-
Adam?
What?
No, Adam is future.
Who snuck in here? Somebody has snuck in here.
It's Nolan.
What?
Nah, that'd be crazy, yo.
He's got the penguin.
I feel like it's Nolan too.
Oh, that's
no, it has
How
to be
dare
someone
you.
in
All right,
here.
next.
To see the question.
Next, let's see. Here we go. That's true. He wouldn't even be able to see the questions. It's one of you.
Yeah.
Who is it? That's crazy. All right, next. True or false? When Peter asked about Simon Magus, he was mainly concerned with what bad doctrines he believed. When Peter asked about Simon Magus, he was mainly concerned about what bad doctrines he believed. True or false? It's
Yes,
false.
wasn't it about the people he was deceiving rather?
I think he said he wanted to know like the disposition and character of the man, right?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, like his willingness to actually learn, or if he's going to be contentious.
Yes.
Look, somebody's not in here because look, we have 7 people participating, but we have 8 people. Well, it's got to be Nolan. Look, he's got the.
Nolan has sabotaged us, but how?
I don't know how he would see the questions.
Me neither.
I mean,
it doesn't pop up on browser.
How
you
dare
could
he?
see it.
All right, next.
Viewing.
Next, I can't believe he's doing this. Do you think he's actually getting these really hard ones right, though? All right, next question. Quiz. What did Simon Magus call himself? Ooh, that's a good question, Aramis. The Eternal One, the Strong One, the Standing One, the All-Powerful.
Well, if it is Nolan, then I can't even get first place if I wanted to, because you know it's not right for the disciple to pass his master. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's correct.
The falling one, Raheem, you're funny.
The falling one. All right, the standing one is correct. We continue. Nice job, guys. Nice job. Nolan is cheating though. We need to get him in here. All right, next question. It's coming up. Who was Luna? Good question,
Oh.
Hermes.
Thank you.
The leader of a Samaritan sect, Simon's mother, Simon's sister, Simon's lover. Who was Luna? Some woman.
I think it just came back to me. Oh no, never mind. I was wrong.
Is her name also Helen?
I
That's
don't
right.
remember that one.
That's right. Her name was Helena as well. So Helena and Luna must be similar. Yep, she's a horrible prostitute. That's what she was.
Is it Adam? Is Adam Jeep?
No, he's supposed to be future.
I thought that was Aaron.
Which one?
Aaron, are you named Future in here?
No. Guillermo.
I'm future.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah, I
Nolan.
don't know.
Avatar.
I know we got
That's
no,
how I know.
we got somebody's infiltrated.
It's
I
Nolan.
don't know how they do.
We'll get him. All right, we go to the next question. True or false? Simon Magus trained in magical arts because he did not succeed in his liberal education. True or false? Simon Magus trained in magical arts because he did not succeed in his liberal education. Cast your vote. It
Is
is
a liberal education like a formal schooling?
exactly.
Yeah.
It's false.
Oh, okay.
Why did he actually go into magic?
Because Peter, he wanted. If I remember correctly, it was like for the greed of money or something. He wanted to be. No, I'm not sure.
Aramis,
Yes.
what's your response?
Why did he do that?
Yeah.
Because he wanted to be all powerful, glory, honor, wanted to be seen as a god.
He did want to be seen as a god. But it doesn't explain how he originally got into it.
Didn't he get into it like?
No, because he was already doing magical arts before that. What was the original reason? Does Recognitions tell us the original reason he got into magic?
I'm thinking.
He was poor, right? When he was younger.
Was he poor?
Yeah, I remember he saying when his mother Rachel told him to go reap the wheat.
But he made all that up. Aramis, you should. I mean, if it tells you why he actually did it, then you should make a quiz about it. Because this one doesn't actually tell you why he got into it. We don't know the reason he got into it.
Well, the purpose of the question is to know that he was very smart in his liberal education, so he had both secular knowledge as well as the magical knowledge.
That is true. He was very well educated, so I guess that's a good question. All right, next question. Which miracle did Simon not relate to Niceta and Aquila? Making bones animate, growing a beard on a boy, appear to have two faces, or flying in the air. Which of these miracles did he not tell to Niceta and Aquila?
What?
It's the
I
making
thought.
bones animate. He told all three of the other stories. Making beards grow on little boys, appearing to have two faces at once, and flying in the air. He could do all three of the others.
Oh, I thought because I don't remember hearing anything about the two faces, but like I listened to the audiobook in the background, so.
I
Oh, you
remember.
got that one?
I don't know why I chose. I don't know why I chose it. Because Nike and Aquila were there when he turned. Uh, I think he told them. Yeah, he actually told them.
All right, guys, on to the next question. Get ready. How did Niceta and Aquila see through Simon's deception? They saw him bleed and realized he wasn't a god. They saw him fall out of the air when he attempted to fly. They realized that some of his miracles were false, or they were told so by Zacchaeus.
I was like, I did not know. because I don't think I got to that part yet. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure I heard about them becoming Christians or like trying to disciple under Peter while Simon Magus and Peter were still like in their debates and stuff. So it couldn't have happened when he like fell out the air and then he died. So I'm like, it had to be his miracles were false. So glad I got that. But I barely got any points, yo. I got 600 instead of 900.
You're doing okay, guys. All right. No leaderboard has been shaken up in a while. Next question. Who did Simon claim Luna was? Did he claim she was the standing one, wisdom, his wife, or the power of God? It's kind of funny, the Catholics, they're doing a second version of all this with their false Christ.
A second Luna?
Yeah, they've got a Luna going. They've got a Mary going, a fake Mary, claiming that she's all that perfection, the same perfection as Christ. That's right, he said she was wisdom incarnate. Oh, Kevon, where'd you come from? All right, next one. How did Simon claim to perform magic? Was it by using the power of Luna? By using the moon's power? By using the power of demons? Or by using the soul of a little boy? How did he claim to perform magic? Most of you got it right. That is correct. He said it was a boy who had been murdered and he was using that soul. But it was a lie. He actually was using the power of demons. And Peter said Simon's probably deluded himself that it's by this little boy when really it's by the demons.
What a crazy thing to claim, by the way.
I know.
The apostles are really powerful. Like when you read the book.
All right, Adriano, I need you to miss one more question for me.
Raheem, if I get like 2
At
questions
this rate,
wrong, I'll catch up.
I don't know. You might pass me.
Next question. Simon claimed that this work was more powerful than God's works. Making a boy out of air, making a man out of water, making himself appear everywhere at once, or making a bird out of fire. He claimed that this was a work more powerful than God's works. That is right.
Nice. Took my time with it.
Making a boy out of air. And it was because he said God had to make Adam out of dirt, but I can make something out of thin air.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
I was just like, which one sounds more familiar?
All right, boys, next. True or false? God allows the devil to have full power over this world. True or false? It is false.
1,000 points, yes, sir. I think I just clicked it like so fast. Cause like the true and false. Oh, never mind. I can't relay my secrets.
I don't know if it's a secret, Isaac.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, they're always in the same place. So.
All right, boys, we're almost done with this whole thing. Quiz. Who taught Nicene and Aquila about the faith? It was Peter, Clement, Simon, or Zacchaeus. Who taught them about Christianity? Peter, Clement, Simon, or...
Wait, what? Who was Zacchaeus? Wait, wasn't he like the tax collector?
Yes.
I
He's
was
there.
thinking he was the high priest.
He's there in the story. Zacchaeus had become a Christian, and Peter... Well, I don't know if Aramis puts this as a question in here. I don't know if you spoil...
Okay, let's
All right, we're not going to talk about it. Anyway, Zacchaeus did teach Nicene and Aquila, and they became Christians through Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus was traveling with Peter.
Was he also like a high priest though, or no? Maybe I'm thinking of
I
someone
don't know
else.
if Aramis is going to ask any questions about that, so I better not answer yet.
Got it. Got it.
All right,
I think
next
I
question.
know. I think I know what you're referring to.
All right, here we go. Quiz. What does Peter stress at the beginning of his debate with Simon Magus? Fairness, peace, quickness, or good judgment? What does Peter stress at the beginning of his debate with Simon Magus? Most of you got it right.
The fairness one was a mistake. I knew it was peace.
He said we're going to have a very peaceful debate. I'm going to have to stress that in my debates more often.
Yes.
Okay. Kevon is rising. Next.
Nolan is too good at this stuff, man.
Peter says
If it
that we
is,
must first inquire into God's righteousness, mercy, patience, or fairness. He says this is the first thing we should inquire into. It is God's righteousness, mercy, patience, or fairness. It is, of course, righteousness. Because
I second guess myself.
I thought it
Simon
was.
had made some accusations against God.
No.
He taught that the God of the Old Testament was a different God from the true God. And he had accusations about him being evil in the Old Testament. So Peter said, let's establish whether he is evil or righteous first. All right, boys. I think we're on the last question. For the time is short, and the judgment of God shall be occupied with something, not questions. And that is words, thoughts, deeds, or knowledge. The time is short, and the judgment of God shall be occupied with something, not questions. You got it. It is deeds. All right, let's see how you all stack up at the end.
Bro, if I didn't second guess myself, I could have got fourth. I'm so sad.
Raheem in third. Uranus in
Nice.
second. Where is Nolan? Tell him to join in here. Somebody tag Nolan.
Ow.
Adriano in fourth. Kavan in fifth. Nice.
Barely made it. That was close though, Kavan. You nearly did pass me.
Oh, it's just sad. I don't know why I second guessed myself in that question before that. Ugh. Oh well.
I think Nolan might be like watch it because I think you could watch the stream while not being like in the lounge.
Can you?
How do
I
you
think
do
so.
that?
Oh wait, he just joined. Is that him?
Is that Gregory Thaumaturgus?
Yeah, it is.
I don't think Noah would do something like that.
Nolan, if you're
Oh, Nolan,
speaking,
you're
you
in
can
here.
hear me now.
I got pinged.
It was you, wasn't it, Nolan?
What did I do?
We all know. We know it was you. You're a bad man.
How did your recognitions quiz go?
Haha.
You would know.
Sneaking in.
You made it so obvious, Nolan. I remember you telling me that the penguin was your favorite animal, or that you liked the penguin.
I thought it was Nolar Bears.
What are you talking about?
So Nolan, you're saying that you weren't Gregory Thaumaturgus in the Kahoot just now? That wasn't you?
No, why would I pick Gregory Thaumaturgus?
Oh, because he's the wonder worker.
Yeah, but I've never. I mean, I love Gregory. Don't get me wrong; he's awesome, and I would like follow him around across the world. But like, I've never talked a lot about him. I usually talk about like Origin or someone. I And I also don't call myself really after like a church father. So no, that I would put my name. I've been gone, guys. I just got back home. My brother was in town. I went to go see him.
Really? I'm glad you did
He
that.
got a good story, huh?
Was it
I
Christian?
don't.
Oh yeah.
I don't think Christian would call himself Gregory Thaumaturgus. He'd call himself
No,
like the
Nolan,
disciple or something.
You did call
you did
yourself a
curse
church
out the
father.
church father. Look at your email, remember? Ignatius?
Exposed.
Yeah, but that was Aramis. That was like 5 years ago. I haven't done that. I haven't done anything like that in like 6 years now.
Wait.
I'm talking about my like current habit.
Isaiah, who was it?
Y'all low key. Let me cook. All right. So you guys know how Nolan is like kind of like my origin, right? He's the origin to my Gregory Thaumaturgus. So I think it was me. It was me. I was playing on my phone
What?
and on my computer. I was Irenaeus Jr. on my phone and then Gregory Thaumaturgus on my computer.
That is crazy.
Bruh.
I was thinking, no, it
What
can't
up?
be Isaiah
What
because
up,
he's
plot
Irenaeus
twist?
Jr.
Right.
This is a bigger plot twist than any Hollywood movie, guys. How are you guys doing this?
Nolan, we were sure that you were in here.
How would I have been in here? How would I have even seen the questions? Did
Yeah, that's what I
nobody?
was saying. I was
It
like,
didn't
Nobody
make
asked
it didn't
themselves
make
that
any
question.
sense. It made no
that's what I'm saying. I
sense.
was like, it can't be Nolan.
I thought you were like
And he
watching
threw
a
us off
stream or
because
something.
he
Yo,
chose Nolan's avatar from yesterday. That's how he did it.
wait, to be honest, I didn't even remember like, oh, this was his thing specifically. I just like the penguin with the hat. Oh, when I was
Yeah.
on mute, bro, and y'all was talking about it, I was laughing so hard. I was like, let me not say anything. Might be on to me.
You cheated. Your win doesn't count. You had two guesses on each question that you were unsure of.
I
Your
picked
win
the
is
same.
invalid.
No. I picked the same exact answer on each one. The reason that my Irenaeus Jr. was always behind the Gregory Thaumaturgus one is because I was click the answer on my computer first and then click the same exact answer on my phone like shortly after.
Mm.
Oh, Luke was so sure of it. He was like, "No, Isaiah's Irenaeus." Oh, I was laughing, yo. I was laughing so hard. I was like, "When do I tell him?"
Good prank.
Nolan, I got first place. I don't really know if it counts because Dante wasn't here and Brian weren't here. But first place nonetheless. I told you I would do it for you one day.
You did. You made it to the podium.
Yes. Yes, finally.
Who was in second?
It was Raheem, right?
Was it Raheem?
I would. That would be my guess. I mean, Raheem was in first place last time.
Yeah, I believe it was Raheem. And then you again.
Think again. Look at chat.
Was it? Was it not Raheem?
It was yours truly.
Oh.
Oh, you got
I got
first and
first
second.
He was in
second
top
for you.
three. I just didn't know if he was second or.
That's awesome.
Wait,
That's
I
too
should have
funny.
made No, I should have made 5 accounts and I could have got the whole leaderboard for you. I'm trying to think because I can't. There's no way I can do this again because y'all know. So you would expect me.
Okay, so technically Raheem did get second place because
Yes,
Isaiah got it on both.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
So Raheem got second technically.
So I got third technically. Nice.
Oh my, bro! If I just didn't second guess myself, I'm so mad.
Were there any tricky ones?
Yeah, there was a few in there.
Yeah.
What's does anyone remember any? Did Aramis do any funny ones?
Yeah, like there is this
Give me an
one
example.
where, Aramis put the question. It was along the lines of, did James send Peter alone, like without any company, to confront Simon Magus? And it was a true or false. And then, most of us put false. But the thing was, initially, James did send Peter by himself, like with no one to help him to go confront Simon. But he told him in that thing, like, don't worry, by God's grace, you're gonna have God's power through Jesus Christ, and by God's grace, you're gonna have more people join you. And then people joined him along the way. Like afterwards, he met, I believe it was Zacchaeus. But technically, the answer was true. Initially, he was sent alone.
Luke even made him pull it up because he didn't believe him.
I know.
That's funny. That's
A
funny.
funny one was what was prophesied to stand in the holy place, and one of the answers was the abomination of depravity or something.
Depravity.
Yeah. But the abominable depravity, I forgot exactly how it was worded.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, that
the
was it.
abominable depravity.
Yeah.
Did that get anybody?
No, I think most people got that one right.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Wait, Luke, are you still recording?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure that whole ordeal was caught on camera. That is hilarious.
That was good. So, what is it? It's like middle of the day tomorrow. There's gonna be the one on that video, Nolan.
Yeah, on the Origin one. Yep.
All right.
Well, that'll be good.
I'll do my review tonight.
What is it for Central Time, like Texas time?
I don't know what. I couldn't understand Nico's message. I asked him a question, and then he just sent me a screenshot
Oh yeah.
Let me see.
of Texas.
I thought that I worked tomorrow, like Wednesday, Thursday, but it turns out I work Thursday, Friday, so I'm like, I might be able to get in it low key, but if I'm on my phone, I'm gonna be at a disadvantage.
That's right. I don't even know how you'd play.
Yeah,
I was
well, I mean,
struggling on
I
my
just pull
phone.
up the I just have the stream on the Discord, and then I switch tabs quickly to the Kahoot, and then do it. Or, this is smart. Since I have two phones, I'll just do my one phone for the Discord stream, and then on my second phone, it's like an old Android, so it's a little bit slow, but hopefully it'll be quick enough. I can use my hotspot and then do the Kahoot on a separate phone.
I don't think you'll be able to pull this off again.
No, not two accounts, but one of them for like the stream, and then my other phone for the Kahoot, so I don't have to switch tabs. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to pull this off again. It was so funny. No, and I'm sorry they they brought you in here. You probably thought it was something like important, but I was like, how far is this gonna go?
You just let them accuse me and attack me. They accused me of getting second place. That's not the worst accusation.
Well, no, they accused you of first.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was first? You got first with
Gregory.
the... Oh, you got
Yeah.
first with the Gregory and second with the Irenaeus. I see.
Yeah, I was saying in the thing too, because like when they started to say like, oh, it's Nolan, and since my second place on my phone was Irenaeus, I was like, well, even if I wanted to pass up Nolan, I couldn't, because it's not right for the disciple to pass his master.
I don't know how I wouldn't have even been able to see the questions, guys. Why did nobody... Nobody raised that?
No, that was the question of the day. That was the question.
Talked about that.
I was like, he couldn't be able to see it, so I'm like, it can't be it.
I speculated, what if he was watching the stream while not being in the lounge?
Yes, of course you thought that, Adriana, because of my comment last night.
Oh, wait, is that
Yeah, exactly.
The thing
You
is,
were
though, that only shows like a single screenshot every few minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we'd be able to see if someone was streaming, and yeah, maybe you'd be able to tell.
It's you wouldn't be able to see the questions. You just have to get lucky, but that wouldn't even happen. Yeah, if you hover your mouse over the red live button, it will show you like a screenshot of whatever you guys are watching.
Gotcha.
I was closing my computer last night and I saw you were live, and I hovered my mouse over it and I saw Alex Jones stabbing a pumpkin.
Yeah.
Oh.
Also known as Bill Hicks.
The times that Nico is saying converted to Texas time was 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. It was like, he was like, yeah, around these times is good. So I don't know.
He said 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. for tomorrow?
That would be Texas time if my math is mathing.
Wait, okay, his 8 a.m.
Yeah, because it's 8 a.m. CET, which CET is 7 hour or 6 hours ahead of EST. So that'd be 7 for Texas time. Right? Yeah, 5, 6, 7, 8.
What is CET?
Central
It's
European.
Germany. It's his time.
Yeah, so he's 7 hours ahead of you, Nolan.
Oh yeah, it's 5 a.m.
Well, he's
there
not in
right now.
No one's not in Texas though.
He's on Texas
still
time though.
He's still on Texas time.
Oh yeah, that's like
Oh,
through
really?
the yeah.
Yeah. So he's 7 hours ahead. So right now it's 5:30 a.m. for him. So he was. Yeah, that's why I'm just like, I don't know if those
Wait,
times work.
what? That's crazy.
Dante told me that you guys had a really good call on Hades. Like, what did you guys talk about? I missed it.
I have no idea. I don't remember any call about Hades. Did we talk about Hades? Did we do a call about Hades recently?
No, last night.
Right.
Last night?
Last night? I remember we did the recognitions Kahoot last night.
Wait, you don't remember that, Nolan?
After we talked about purgatory afterwards.
Oh yeah, like for a couple minutes we talked about purgatory before I went to bed. Yeah. I think they only asked like 1 or 2 questions though. What did we talk about with purgatory?
You're
John was here?
mentioning, yeah, you made the point. Like most people probably pass through purgatory. Most people who are saved, depend, whether or not, regardless of how much time they have to spend in there, but that is a place that most Christians will have to pass through.
Yeah. And you also said how the fathers say that the martyrs don't have to go through purgatory, and how I was asking you some questions about like, okay, where is it? When does it occur? You're just telling me what we can know about it. How you wouldn't go to paradise first, then go to the fire to be cleansed in purgatory, but you would go to the fire right after you die, and then paradise. And then how the fathers don't talk about purgatory as some different place from Hades.
Yeah, they just say you'll have to go through the flames. Some people, I think, Origin maybe. Some people bring up like the fire sword that was blocking paradise. They like bring up that kind of like imagery from what I remember, and they compare it to that. They're like, you have to go through the flame, and yeah, that's what they all say, that's what John is talking about. That Jesus is he's coming with a baptism of water and a baptism of fire.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what time we're gonna do for that tomorrow because I don't think those times work.
I'm not. I'm not doing 8 a.m.
Nico would have it would have to be like evening/night for him, in like, which would be like middle of the day, like what?
Like afternoon.
Like, yeah. 1
I'm
a.m.
even fine with doing like 11 or 12. I could go for 11 or 12 maybe, but that's like not 8 a.m.
12 would be like 7 p.m. for him. So I think that's reasonable.
Yeah,
Assuming I have to go to sleep super early or something. Yeah.
Yeah, if he's willing to do evening his time, that would be the best thing.
It's a good thing I checked. So.
They need to be like you, David.
David, when did David hop in here?
David's always here.
He lives in the UK, so.
It's a few
What is
minutes
it, like?
ago, but
Is it
I'm
3 a.m.
unemployed.
there?
So Nico is unemployed, so he has a job right now.
Gotcha. What time is it for you, David?
It's 4:30, just past 4:30.
Gotcha. Well, do you have work? I guess for you later today.
Do I have work later today?
Yeah.
No, I just said I'm unemployed, but Nico isn't unemployed. That's probably why he has like strict guidelines, like why you can't stay up late. Like,
Well, I thought I remembered you saying you're doing like some occasional contract work.
Uber Eats.
Not that, but
no, that was a while ago.
oh, okay.
And then I got another job at like some festival place, and then that ended about a month ago plus,
My
whereabouts.
memory isn't the best, clearly.
Yeah.
Brian.
Hopped in and dipped out immediately. But yeah, it's 4:30 for you. You said just turned 4:30.
4:35.
Gotcha. So around like 5-6 o'clock ish your time, we're gonna be doing a Kahoot on the video that Nolan made, the origin video. If you want to hop into that
Today.
Yeah.
Did you guys already do a Kahoot earlier?
Yeah, we did one a little bit earlier on recognitions that you just missed.
Who won?
Isaiah.
Dude, that's a little complicated.
Isaiah.
Yeah.
Isaiah.
Isaiah as Gregory Thaumaturgus and Irenaeus Jr.
Yeah, he got first and second.
What? He got first?
And second, yes, sir.
Wow.
I
I'm
don't feel like
impressed.
it was.
I'm impressed, Isaiah.
Thank
I'm
you.
impressed.
Hey, the last two times, for one of them I got 5th place and the other one I got 4th. So I was like on the leaderboard but not the podium. But I don't feel like it was like the most accurate representation of skill because you and Dante weren't in there, so
Okay, well, I'm not anything, It's fine, So
yeah,
even
no,
if
it's not competition.
I know, even if I wasn't there, I bet someone else knows more than me to like still stomp you,
It was impressive, Isaiah. Very impressive. We'll do another one of these.
I think it's impressive because Isaiah, like, for the first Kahoot, was behind a lot, and then the second one was a little less behind, and then now he's like what? First place?
Yep.
Yeah, like it's just like the little progress he did to get to that. It's quite nice. So great job.
At this rate, he'll make a new placing.
Huh?
Wait, Luke, were you saying like great job that I did that I got a lot of questions right, or that I was able to pull off the whole 2 account scandal?
The 2 accounts thing is not what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is that what you did?
Yeah. They had
Isaiah.
Hold on.
Nah. I take it
Bro,
back, Isaiah. I take it back. I take back all the praise I gave. No.
Oh wow, that was wild.
That's
Nah, they
cheating,
was.
bro.
Wait, what? How is that cheating?
He
playing. I'm playing.
He answered the same on both accounts.
I'm just playing, dude. As you're good.
Oh, okay.
If you had
Who's
one
this-
account that was like in last place and the other in first place,
No, it was first.
that would be. But you got both in first and second.
Oh no.
What?
Yeah, look in the chat.
Yeah.
Isaiah, come on. Like that's too much, man. That's too much.
I knew it would be so funny, and I did it, and it was hilarious. I was just muted, laughing my tail off, yo.
He pushed
Yeah,
he
people were
pushed
singing it was
Adriano.
Nolan,
He
Luke,
pushed Adriano off the podium with that stunt.
Bruh.
ping Nolan, and had Nolan get in here, and they were trying to press Nolan like you know what you did, and then he was like, "What? I was doing this, that, and the third," and then I told him I was like, wait, y'all, let me cook. I think I know who it was. So like how Nolan is kind of like Origin, and Nolan is the origin to my Gregory Thaumaturgus. I think that I'm Gregory Thaumaturgus, and then I send the screenshot.
You're funny.
I know, it was so funny. I can't pull it off again, obviously now.
Unless you do one Isaiah and then one Origin.
I mean, not it. The reason why you can't do it is because we'd be like, oh, we have an extra person, because that's what happened.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we have an extra person. This person's doing really good. Who is it?
They would suspect me.
Yeah, the only way he'd be able to do it is if he like purposely did bad. But then, like, what's the point?
Just join a voice changer.
Wait, what? That doesn't even make sense.
Just create another Discord account. Act like somebody else.
You're
Join the
right.
server.
Wait, I should have
We got
another
a new-
Discord account. Yes, I'm
We
gonna
got
go.
a new
I'm gonna take the long
catechumen.
route. Yes, I'm gonna go the long route. I'm gonna send a fake
It's just
email to
crazy.
Luke. I'm gonna, I'm gonna join the Discord account. I'm gonna have pre-recorded messages with a voice changer, and
Do you hear this, Luke?
None of it will happen.
Who would ever do something like that, Luke? Hey, Luke, can you hear me
It's
okay?
real funny, guys. Nolan's like wanting me to talk about this, but Nolan once did that to me back in the old days.
Wait, what?
He thought it
What'd
was
he
so
do?
funny. Back when I had this stupid YouTube channel about video games, I would have calls with people, and Nolan wanted to have a call with me on the channel, so he made a fake Discord account and put on a voice changer just so he could be in a video talking to me about video games and movies.
No, I was. It's not like that.
He doesn't even deny it, but yeah, that happened.
So what was the reasoning, Nolan? If it wasn't like that,
I was trolling him at the time.
I see.
I kept
Good enough.
telling him my favorite movie was, I don't even remember. It's some horrible like Adam Sandler movie. I'd be like, it's got a lot of like good contrast in there. It's like the ideal story.
I gotcha. That's good. Nolan's my type of guy.
Good night, Aaron.
Same
Good night,
here.
Isaiah.
Oh
I'll be
no, I was
with
just
you.
saying good night to him. I'm gonna stay
I see.
though. Yeah. Nah, wait. Who said that though? Adriano or Kevon? Which one of y'all was it about creating the? Bro, that would be so. That would be just so. What's the word? Like not unnecessary. There's another word.
I mean, unnecessary fits.
Schizophrenic is crazy. Oh my gosh. Nah, just thinking about that is hilarious though. If I actually did do that.
I think the most impressive thing would be if you pulled it off. I don't know. I don't think you'd get very far.
I would have to wait a year so y'all not suspecting it no more. What y'all been reading?
With these.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying with these quizzes, I'm about to start rereading recognitions to refresh myself. The further we go along, I'm sure the less my memory is going to help me.
This is true. We've all read the first couple books a million times, but
Yeah.
And even within those first books, there was some stuff that like I just completely forgot. Like the questions about like Luna, I did not remember that at all.
I give all my credit to the audiobooks that Aramis made. I'm glad that I just decided to start listening to them someday. I think like the first time I started to listen to one is because like I put on like rain or some type of music or whatever or an audiobook to go to sleep. So yeah, I haven't like, actually read it. It's just been background at school. I mean, some parts I pay more attention though.
Yeah, I was listening to them. I listened to the first few like months ago, and then I resumed recently. So like I have some stuff in my recent memory, but the first couple books it's like hazy.
Yeah.
Look, you remember on the trip in the summer when I mean I don't remember how exactly we got on the topic. We were talking about the end times, and you mentioned how the people during that time were going to basically be as evil as the people during the days of Noah.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you get that from? Because I was talking with Adriano about it, and I couldn't remember if it was like from a specific church father or if it was just from the scriptures.
It's from Jesus saying that it will be like the days of Noah. He compares
Oh.
the day when the Son of Man returns to being like the days of Noah. He says, just as it was in the days of Noah, so will it be in the days of the Son of Man. They were eating and drinking and marrying and being given in marriage. And then he says the flood came and took them all away.
Yeah, because we're talking. Some of the, I mean, this is some of the interpretation. It's more on like the conspiracy Christian type of people, but they use that verse to say, oh, it's like the Nephilim coming back and like genetic experiments and
Chimera.
yeah, the chimeras, yeah, they're gonna the fake alien invasion and all this stuff. But I guess that's more to talk about because in Genesis 6 it says how evil was in the hearts of men, right? So that's really talking about just the sinfulness of all the people.
Well,
Does that make sense?
he doesn't specifically say the sinfulness, but I think if he is drawing an analogy, all of God's analogies are perfect. God never makes an analogy, and then when you say, all right, let's examine this analogy, he says, oh, well, that's okay, don't go too far with the analogy. It's only a couple things that are one-to-one. When God makes an analogy, it's a perfect analogy. That's why with farming, God invented planting things and thorns coming out and choking them and the water needed to come down and all this is a perfect analogy. There's no part of the analogy that's just wrong and doesn't apply to us. And it goes for everything. Husband and wife relationships, father and son, the seasons, the sun and the moon and the earth, and all these analogies he created are perfect analogies. So if there is something prophetic about the days of Noah that connects to our current time, it's going to be a perfect analogy. Every single aspect of it will be a perfect analogy. Any story in the Old Testament will have perfect parts. There won't be one part that's just incongruent and you say, "Oh, well that's really messing up the whole analogy here." The more you study the analogy, the more depth you'll realize it has. So I think the days of Noah are actually exactly prophetic of what's going to happen. I think every single aspect of everything that was happening in those days corresponds to the last times. The ark is the church, and the
Yeah.
Nephilim are the denominations.
In the Clementine, I know like regulations, it ended very abruptly. You know, that's why I read Acts of Paul and Peter like after because it was getting good. They were going to meet Simon, but he ended abruptly. I'm wondering in the Clementine homilies, does it continue the story further?
No, it's pretty much exactly the same. I was collecting quotes on the subject of Peter and Paul confronting Simon Magus for that big recognitions video we made, and I just could not find so many of the quotes I've read before. And I ended up using some quotes on there, but I just thought, I know I've read a lot more than these. A lot of the stories I was finding were post-Nicaea, and there were a few that were pre-Nicaea, but then, like, a week after we released the video, I started finding all these quotes all of a sudden talking about Peter confronting Simon Magus in a lot of pre-Nicene church fathers, and I was disappointed. But anyway, they do talk about Peter confronting him and the flying chariot that Simon Magus was in that was borne up to heaven, and Peter praying and causing it to come down and get smashed.
I like when the translations just call it a car.
Just an automobile.
Yeah.
Ancient aliens.
So is that story of them praying and him falling out of the sky? Is that just in the Fathers, or is that like talked about in Recognitions?
Nope, it's not in
No,
Recognitions. It's
that's
only
all it's disappointed.
yeah, it's only in other writings.
Oh, okay.
But you should like read Acts of Paul and Peter. Like it's a good story.
Yes,
Is it authentic?
that book does contain parts of the stories that you hear scattered throughout the other church fathers' writings. But here's the deal: if Recognitions had contained the story of Peter and Paul and all that fighting Simon Magus, that would have invalidated Recognitions. Do you realize that? It would have made it inauthentic.
Why?
Because Peter confronted Simon Magus in the debates and met Clement very early on in his ministry. But
Yeah.
Peter lived for decades after that, guys. He lived for what, like 20 years in Antioch and 12 years in Rome? So it would have messed up the whole chronology. If Clement really was writing those things around the time that they happened and then sent them to James, who was Bishop of Jerusalem, then it wouldn't have worked if, I mean, it wouldn't have been a trustworthy account if he then is, giving the very ending of the story, which is decades later, which is at the same time of Peter dying. I mean, Peter died at that event after Simon Magus fell down to the ground.
Because Recognitions was on like 7, 8 years after
That,
Christ.
that makes sense. So, but what about James? Like, when did he die? Did he die before Peter, Paul, or Peter?
Yes, or well, let's see. James died in like 69 AD. Yeah.
Yeah, Josephus blames the destruction of Jerusalem on James the Just's death.
James the Just. This says 62 AD. I know it was just before the Romans came and attacked Jerusalem and destroyed the temple. So this is saying 62 AD. Let's see here. Somebody's saying 69 AD. Let me see who's saying that, because I remember 69. Traditionally, it's believed he was martyred either in AD 62 by being stoned to death, or by the order of High Priest Ananus ben Ananus, or in AD 69 by being thrown off the pinnacle of the temple. Well, I had heard 69. I'm not sure what the 62 is. That might be correct, but I would have to look into that. So if he's writing to James, guys, he certainly could not have been writing after 69.
Yeah, it makes sense. I never thought of that.
Hey Luke,
Yes.
something I was thinking about. So I've heard both of these things said. So I know for a fact, like, women are not supposed to look men in the eye, but like they cast their look down with the shamefacedness, something along those lines. But then I think I've also heard it said too, like men aren't supposed to look women in the eye because like the eyes are like an imitation. But is that from the fathers too, like for the men not to look the woman in the eye?
No. The responsibility to not make eye contact is put on the woman.
Mm. But y'all said it because nowadays with like how the women are, like yes, they should be the ones doing that. They should be veiled. I mean, they should be at home in the first place. But they were outside, they should be veiled and like look casting their looks downward, shamefacedness and all that. But with how it is today, we kind of have to do that because, I mean, or we can like look up, but like just to not look at them. Like it'd be hard because I try to be like, I was thinking about this earlier last week about like some type of scenario, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm looking at this woman, not that I actually was, but if I was looking at a woman like in her face, because I'm talking to her, so to show respect. But then I was thinking, I'm like, if I really wanted to show respect, I wouldn't look at her at all because I'm respecting her modesty. So I'm like, how do you go about talking to an unveiled woman who is not your wife, family member, etc., without looking her in the face? Because it seems disrespectful, but I'm like, wouldn't it be actually disrespectful if you're looking at her unveiled because that's for her husband?
Yes, women today will not interpret your respectful behavior as being respectful. They'll interpret it as misogyny and just meanness. I think I mentioned the other day, but one of the brothers here, his car broke down, and a nice young woman, a young lady, she comes over and offers to give him a jump on the car. It's very kind of her, and she's a pretty young girl, and she does it for us, and then she offers to shake my hand. I happen to be there, and I had to say, no, I'm sorry. For modesty's sake, I don't remember what I said. I just said, to be modest, I'm not going to shake your hand, but thank you very, very much for helping us out. And she did not like that. She had a look on her face like, what? Like she couldn't even comprehend what I just said. But I said, thank you very, very much. But, for modesty, I just don't shake women's hands. And she's like, okay. And she turned around and she was not happy. I think she was very offended by that. But she needs to learn what true modesty is. She may never meet another man who says that to her, and it's something for her to contemplate. What is more respectful? Me reaching out and grabbing her hand when I don't even know this girl? She's not a family member. I mean, what, you need to be touched by somebody to feel respected by them? Come on. It's much more respectful for a man to say, no, I don't touch women. You just got to learn. It's the natural way. But, I mean, guys, we go out and about. You'll be next to the cashier, or you might have to go to the bank, and you see the teller, and she's there. And, yeah, you should just try not to be staring her in the face. And people accept it. I mean, for goodness sake, we live in the most autistic generation in history. Almost nobody looks people in the eye. They'll accept it.
Oh, I was thinking that too. On like, what if people think I'm like shy and like a little special ed or whatever? But like, I mean, that's low key bars what I was saying though, right? Because like, oh, I'm looking them in the face to be respectful. But like, true respect will be not to look at an unveiled woman's face at all.
Good Ravy,
So I
Yoda was
should
trying to
just,
come out there for a second.
Yoda?
huh?
I heard Yoda. Anyway, nobody else heard it. Whatever. Well,
Oh.
yes, you are being very respectful by doing that. And
No, no, no. I didn't say that I did. Okay, well, when I had to explain myself, because I don't want you to think I'm just looking at women in the face. But if I'm talking to like a female specifically, like, no, I'm just gonna not just gonna stare at her, but like, yeah, like I'll look her in the face because like that's all I know. But then I was thinking about it, and I was like, and then everything I just told you. But I shouldn't. I should try to avoid that. But it's not like a sin within of itself if I was to look her in the face, but try to avoid it.
it's not a sin for you to look her in the face any more than it is automatically a sin for a woman to just be unveiled in public. The problem with her being unveiled in public is that she's inviting people to lust after her. If she's inviting them to do it, that's the problem. Like just being unveiled is not the problem. It's when you deliberately go unveiled in public. Like the distinction I'm making is that the sin happens when somebody ends up actually lusting after you. You're going to be
Yeah.
responsible for that. It is possible for you to have like gone in public and maybe like dropped your veil for a second accidentally or something, but nobody saw you, no harm done. Well, the problem is if somebody should lust after a woman because she exposed herself, she bears responsibility. And of course, the other guy bears some responsibility, but she must bear some responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah, because she afforded the scandal to him.
That makes a lot of sense, Luke.
Yes.
So you're kind of saying that it's not like just somehow walking outside without a veil is inherently wrong. Because I mean that
Right.
even
Somebody has
before,
to see you.
yeah, even before you said that, I didn't really think that it was wrong to just go out veiled. I kind of just assumed like that, that, like it is possible for a man to look at a woman and not lust for her. Like it is possible for a man to do that, and then it not be wrong on the woman's end for not being unveiled. But at the same time, it's like it's kind of a risk, especially in today's world when a lot of men are very lustful. So, um, Say, can you repeat your point one more time? Because I kind of want to remember this. I think this is a good point.
Yes,
So
it's
you're kind
like,
of,
to use an
yeah.
extreme example, a woman doesn't worry about covering herself. She doesn't worry about any man lusting after her if a nuclear bomb goes off nearby and everybody runs out of the house and starts running down the street. She's not worried about anybody lusting after her, and she really doesn't need to, because that is a dire extreme situation where everybody just needs to run for their life. No woman would be expected to veil at a time like that. So again, there's no law that says if you are outside, like if you step 1 inch out of your house without a veil on, this is now a sin. The issue is inviting somebody to lust after you by exposing yourself to them by being unveiled. And even then, the intention matters. For instance, if somebody was forced, like dragged outside unveiled, and somebody lusted after you, it's obviously not your fault. If somebody forced you, if they took the veil off of your head, or if it was an accident, just like if, let's say, some horrible thing happened, like let's say, some crazy thing happened, where somebody's clothes just fall off accidentally, like, oh my goodness, it was a complete accident. you know, Again, an accident, it's not her fault if somebody lusts after her. It's if she's inviting it. It's if she does it on purpose.
Can't this also be applied to maybe some women who, because someone might make the argument out there that like there are women who perhaps dress with a complete dresses on, don't really show much of their body, but they just simply don't know about a face veil. They aren't really inviting men to look at them, to lust after them. So I mean, would they still be responsible for something that they didn't really intend to? Like they're still trying to be modest, but of course, I hope you get what I mean. Like from like a perspective of a woman not knowing about veiling, she still dresses, I guess, how she should dress, but like just doesn't have the veil on. She doesn't really know that she's causing men to look at her and stumble or anything, and she's kind of ignorant about it. So I mean, will there be anything wrong in that case? You think?
Well, men will be lusting after her. Guaranteed, men are lusting. In fact, the definition of lusting has changed over time to mean merely that, oh, you imagined, actually like doing all these horrible things with her. But lusting can just be a very simple thing, that a woman is causing people to desire her because of her beauty. He doesn't have to be imagining all these sexual acts with her, but she's exposed herself. She's made her this object of desire to other men, like a yearning to have her because of her beauty. And I will say something, Brian. Paul says that this is part of natural law. So it's a very terrible thing that what is actually natural has been so perverted that people go outside, women go outside, and they are just unaware of this thing. But you have to understand that that can never excuse anybody. It can't, because even if you're doing something very bad, if it's against nature, it's inexcusable. There are other things that people could do against nature, but just because their conscience has been so messed up and they've been brainwashed into doing these things against nature doesn't mean it's not a sin. And again, ignorance will always play a part in it. You'll always be less culpable, but still culpable if you're doing something against nature. I think all girls, if they think about when they used to be younger, they'll remember a time when they blushed to be seen by men and how shy they were when they were little and they'd be around other boys. They'd hide from the boys. They'd run away from the boys. And it had to take many days and weeks and months and years of being put in rooms with boys away from supervision for her to lose that natural sense of shyness and what we call shame. But women do naturally have that. And even men have some of it. A man is kind of shocked when he's like, oh my goodness, I see this girl. She's very beautiful. I remember that. I remember being about 7 years old and watching movies and thinking that the women in the movies were very beautiful. I remember going to karate practice when I was also about 7. And I saw a girl who was probably like 14 years old or something, around that age, and I saw how beautiful she was, and I felt like I wasn't supposed to look at her. I remember I told my mom or something, I said, oh, she's so beautiful, I don't think I deserve to look at her. That's what I told my mom. I don't deserve to. And I remember that very vividly. It just didn't seem right. There was just something weird about me just being able to gaze at this extremely beautiful girl and that somebody like brought her here for me to look at. I think the natural instinct is there. Otherwise, all of humanity wouldn't have been practicing this thing of covering their women. It's a new development, the idea of just exposing all the women in public. So I know that she has she's had her nature overridden by perverted practices, but we could never say that there is absolutely no accountability just because of the evil culture.
Yeah, and going back to what you said about um the woman bearing some responsibility, apostolic constitution gives us that principle that the example was even if this passage, even if you dress a certain way to attract someone to lust after you, and when that person does come to you know to seduce you in these things and you reject it, you still bear some responsibility because the way you carried yourself to incite that person to lust after you.
And you could take it to a pretty big extreme. You could, well, I'd say it's already at an extreme, but I mean, if women were taught to go down with like virtually nothing on, and they say, I just didn't know, I was taught differently. I didn't know how dangerous this was. I didn't know how this affects people. I mean, it'd be pretty silly. And the truth is, women do know it. Like I was saying earlier, I didn't really finish my point, but the truth is the definition of lusting has changed, and people are lusting all the time. But they think to themselves, well, I wasn't imagining a sexual act necessarily. I'm just looking at her and just gazing at her and just going, oh yeah, wow, what a beautiful woman. I sure would love that. And I'm not necessarily imagining any specific sexual act, but I just really want her, and I'm not lusting. Oh no, you're lusting. It's non-stop lusting. Everybody's lusting when they go out in public these days. And it's because the outfits are ridiculous. I don't think you were here, Brian, but Aramis made a good point. People could say, like the early church, if they saw women today, they'd say all the women are naked. And somebody might say, no, they aren't. Come on, they've got skin tight clothing on. And a perfect response to that would be, no, skin tight clothing actually makes the body more beautiful than if it were naked in some instances, because of how tight it is, because it very evenly distributes the fat and the flesh to make it very smooth and pretty and yada yada. You get the idea. It makes it look better than it would if there was nothing squeezing it so tightly. You get it? So actually, women, I mean, it's so ridiculous how exposed they are from the tight clothing, and all women wear extremely tight clothing now. So it is an epidemic of nakedness, I would say. I think the early church would say the same thing.
Luke, so just to be clear, because this is something I was wondering about for a bit too, because back when I was a Protestant, I could never like really define this, because I would look up the definition of lust, and I'd be like, okay, but like, what does that really mean? And then I remember I thought like before when I was a Protestant still like, oh, don't lust, but to admire a woman's beauty is not lusting. It's not as it's so stupid. Oh my gosh. But anyway, so how you would define, or not like you, but like to just to understand what you're saying, how lust is defined would be, of course, imagining any type of sexual acts with someone to admire someone's beauty, to admire their looks. Um, that would be the definition of lust. And is there anything to add to that?
Lusting is actually when you're strongly desiring somebody. You don't have to be imagining a sexual act to desire somebody, to want that woman.
Okay, so just having like like to admire her beauty, and or to have a strong desire for someone or something.
Yeah.
The Shepherd of Hermas gives you a really good example. Remember that woman Rhoda and Hermas?
Yeah, when he said, I'd be a
Hermas
blessed
is
man if I had a wife like that. And if only people even thought something as wholesome and simple as that. But men today, if you look at men, just on the street or just your average man today, and how much more the kids in schools, but I think it's pretty much just everybody. They go around on the street and they're looking at women all the time and thinking at least something as bad as what Hermes thought, but usually much worse.
Yeah.
Hey, Luke. I want to share this random thing that happened with me that I think, I don't know, I think it's just worth sharing. Um, I was out in public a while ago with my wife when I was in public, and it was some time ago, and she wasn't veiled, and I saw we were just walking like on the sidewalk. There's this guy walking towards us, and I see him looking at her, and it kind of bothered me a bit. I was like, "Why are you looking at her?" And then as he was walking past her, he kept looking at her, and I kind of got irritated. I looked back to him to like see if he was still looking at her, and if he was, I would have got angry. I mean, I was already kind of irritated, and I mean, my wife did notice that. And she did like that I was like that. I guess at least kind of not liking that anyone was looking at her, but yeah, I mean, I can kind of understand the whole idea of like not wanting other people to look at your significant other, and it did, yeah, it did annoy me. It did irritate me to see that guy just look at her for like 5 seconds straight. I mean, he definitely was perhaps had some kind of desire. I don't know.
Yeah, who wouldn't? Brian, you make such a good point. The natural instinct in a husband or a father, if the man either sees someone looking at their wife or their daughter, is, hey, who are you staring at? You don't stare at my wife or my daughter. It makes an immediate protective feeling and a feeling of anger, saying this is not yours. Get your eyes off. Quit burning a hole through wife or daughter. You stop that. Leave them alone. That's the natural instinct. I just posted this quote here, among others. I added it to the veil quotes because I thought it was pertinent. Because people always tell us, well, we don't care what the heathen do. We don't care what the Gentiles do. God doesn't tell us to look at other moral standards. Well, he does. Paul says, for when the Gentiles, who do not have the law, by nature do what the law requires, they are a law to themselves, even though they do not have the law. They show that the work of the law is written on their hearts, while their conscience also bears witness, and their conflicting thoughts accuse or excuse them. Yes, the natural instinct in a man is to want to protect his wife and to not show her off. It's a perverted mind, guys. Understand, a perverted mind that says, I want people to look at my wife. Yeah, I want people to look at her. Well, who does that benefit if people are looking at your wife? Does it benefit you for other men to be admiring your wife's beauty? Come on. You're going to live in fear all the time if that's the case. Exactly. You ought to live in fear if people admire your wife for her beauty. Get ready for adultery. And if you think it benefits you, I mean, in what way does it benefit you? What, you just want to make other people jealous? Is it benefiting the person who's looking at your wife for them to see how beautiful she is? Do you want your brother to be envious of your beautiful wife? Is that something that brings you pleasure? Why would you do that? Why would you torture
It
them?
annoys me. It annoys me even thinking about that. Like I can never see myself after I had that experience, and I learned more about veiling and stuff. It made me understand more about it. Because if that was happening all the time, I would be so angry. Like I would be mad all the time, going in public and just seeing people just you know look at her and stuff, and then just like if I didn't know about veiling, just being completely clueless about what to do because I wouldn't like that. So yeah. But you're definitely right. It definitely felt natural to me to get angry at that because I've never really been with anyone else in my life. I mean, of course, that's a good thing. So, like, that's kind of the first time I was kind of in that situation. So I think it's probably like a natural thing that I kind of got angry like that because I never have been with anyone else. Praise God, and yeah, just me getting that feeling, it seems natural to me. Of course, I wouldn't want to go on and harm the guy, but it definitely did like spark up me up a little bit. Like I had to look back and just make sure to do what as I was walking forward, I had to look back to make sure he wasn't still looking. Yeah, I think you bring up a good point.
Yes, and if a wife is close to her husband and her husband expresses to her how precious she is to him, how much he cherishes her, and that her beauty is his, and he actually tells her, this beauty of yours I take for myself. I possess it and I keep it, and I charge you, wife, not to share this with anybody. This is just my beauty. It actually makes her feel very special, makes her relationship with her husband much closer, as we've said many times. It makes them have a special relationship where she says, yes, this is just for my husband. This is a special gift.
Luke putting us on game.
Yeah, I feel sorry for people who don't have that. I do. It's great.
Oh, Luke, I was I was thinking. I think it was earlier today. Yeah, earlier today. I think when I was in the shower, maybe. But I was laughing. It was so funny. I mean, it's not like actually funny, but like the principle of it and how dumb it is so funny. But like my one friend, pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. But how his stepsister's mom told him to like keep an eye on her, be to like watch out for like the weirdos and the creeps and protect her and all that stuff. And he was asking about like, oh, how do I go about that stuff? You're telling him like don't be alone with her. But yeah, to protect her from those people. But I was thinking, I'm like, how is her mother going to say that and send her to school with the weirdos and the creeps, these wicked, lustful men who are trying to do you know what with her? And like I was like, that's just crazy. That's funny. Like that is totally contradictory. Like how Aramis said, that one time that he was watching some parents like watch their kids when they were on the sidewalk so they didn't get picked up by some random people and taken to a bad place and get abused, something like that. But then a school bus came and picked them up and they didn't care. And it's just so crazy. Like you don't want that to happen to her, but then you're gonna send her there. It's like people hate their children, but they don't even know it.
And they should not think of hatred as just saying the words, I hate you. It's so silly when people are like, hate my child? I don't hate my child. Well, hatred is in actions. Understand what real hatred is. For instance, if a parent leaves their child in a super hot car on a summer day, I mean, everybody would say, this parent is totally irresponsible. They don't love their child. Because a person who truly loved their child would be considerate enough to never leave them in a car with the windows up on a hot day and just abandon them there. Actions show how much you love somebody. And the truth is, indifference is worse than hatred. Because at least with hatred, you have a strong feeling towards somebody. You care about them to some degree, but indifference is even worse. And Christ makes that clear when he says, I wish that you were hot or cold, but because you're lukewarm, I'll vomit you out. And so when somebody just doesn't even care what happens to their son or daughter, that's as bad as hatred and even worse.
Man.
When they say, you figure it out, like the Anabaptists do, you can become a Christian if you want. I'm not going to force you to do it. It's up to you. You can choose it, whatever. There's just no love. And when parents say, yeah, sure, I'd like you to become a Christian, but yeah, you need to go to school. It's more important. And and the fathers, I just can't believe what they say. They say it almost as a joke now. They don't even mean it seriously. They just say, "Yeah, you stay a virgin. Don't go messing around with those boys. If any boys mess with you, I'm gonna get the shotgun." And they'll joke around, ha 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 ha. Everybody knows he's not gonna do anything.
I know, like it's just like I can't imagine. Like I'm just imagining like dudes are actually well, I mean, some people they probably like change their dress and put on makeup when they get to school, like away from their parents or like whenever they're away from their parents. But I know like a lot of parents, they probably just let their daughters like aside from the fact of just being unveiled, aside from that even though that's a great, immodesty, they let them dress like whores and with all the makeup and everything, and they just approve it. And it's just like, and I'm thinking, I'm like, well, to what account can they be held accountable because they know what they're doing to a certain extent? but like they were raised up, and how you said like how they are when they're little, and that natural thing is taken away from them. So I know like they're still accountable, but I'm like they're raised up in this. Their parents were probably raised up in this. So I'm like this kind of sucks, you know. Like I just hope they can find the truth.
Yes. All right, guys.
Has this all been recorded?
Yeah, this is nice little 2-hour call.
Okay, good.
So just to kind of get a good like definition would be a definition of lust. Like just like would it be like okay, like looking at someone and like appreciating a woman's beauty is like lust because you're now looking at her beauty and you're going, oh wow, she's beautiful. That would be lust?
No, just seeing that somebody is beautiful is not lusting after them. But what I'm saying is people are in a mindset of lusting all the time, and it's extremely difficult to resist it when their whole bodies are on display in really tight clothing and tons of makeup on their faces and extravagant hairdos and jewelry, so that everybody is just used to lusting and they don't even realize they're doing it. It used to be that people in ancient times would see, if they ever saw anything like even a fraction of the beauty of the women we have today, if they saw it, it would say like, oh, and they were smitten with love. They were, struck with the woman's beauty. And nowadays, it's not like people are just not lusting as much since there are so many beautiful women. It's more just that it's a common thing to always lust and to be in such a carnal mindset that just thinking about sexual acts is very common all the time, but they also just look at women and they are always objectifying women all the time. They're like sizing them up. They're doing this thing in their head that kids do, oh, she's a 10, she's a 9 or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean that is lusting all the time if you look at women like that.
Okay. I'm looking at some of the definitions. Longing, there's desire, lust, but longing that actually rings true because I could think of even, I mean, like you're saying, looking at a girl and thinking, oh, if what if she were my wife, that type of thing. Where now I'm imagining this person as being mine when they're not.
Yeah, if only they could say something like, be my wife instead of just, the kinds of thoughts they would have.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's a non-stop lusting culture we live in.
Can't go outside no more. Can't look straight no more. Luke, I'm in a bad. I mean, it's not like the worst situation, but I remember I was telling you like in that one call about like we were talking about like lust and how you were saying you two like you realize you're more sensitive to it after being I don't know how to like put in words, but like being more modest and not like lusting after women, and then also just learning more about what lust is, and it's like to a more extent than like we previously knew. But I forgot why I started saying all that. I'm tired. But anyway, like I have this one girl. She sits in front of me, and then I have another girl who's kind of like not like right to my left, but like to the left, and then like one seat up. And it's just like, why? So I just be looking at my computer or looking at the screen that's up there, or like I'm looking in their direction, but like not like at them. I try my best. Walking through the
It's like a
hallways
game.
too. Yes, bro, it's like a video game, Preston. Like it's just, I mean, just off of like the try not to less simulator type of thing alone, but then with the other things as well, I gotta look up, look down, left, right. Sometimes I gotta blur my vision. Like if you ever like try to cross your eyes and your vision gets a little blurry, sometimes I'll do that if I'm like a woman's walking into my frame. It is like, yo, what the heck, man? Like, let me get a timeout, man.
Isaiah, what you're saying relates to me a lot because, you know, even when I was believing a lot of lies about certain things, even though I was believing a lot of lies about certain things, um, what's it called? How do I word this? Um, yeah, I'm sorry, my mind just blanked out. When I was in high school, I was going through this phase, I guess, for like a year where I was constantly being bombarded by the women at school, and even at this point in time, I was still trying to not lust. I didn't want to look at anyone. I didn't want to desire anyone. I didn't want to look at anyone's figure or anything. I was just trying to avoid it. And all the time, I would like memorize verses to not sin, like or not to give in to these things. Like one verse I remember was Job 31:1, where he says, "I've made a covenant. I've made a covenant with my eyes. Why then should I look upon a young woman?" I would always repeat these verses, and there's other verses as well that I repeat to myself throughout my year of high school, and I was just begging God to let me just let me get out of here. Like I want to just finish my stuff and get out of here because I was so done with it. I was so exhausted because sometimes I would look at them, and sometimes I probably would have some kind of irking desire, like an actually lust, and then other times I would look. I don't think I would lust, but either way, I would kind of hate myself for even looking at them and even kind of giving into that look at times. But then once I left high school, I just felt this relief just jump off my shoulders. I was
Free.
like, "Oh, finally, I'm free." And and then I didn't have to deal with that anymore. And it was so much easier once I left school. So I can kind of get where you're coming from with that. And this was like 2.5 years ago, like before I graduated in 2022, I think. I
Yeah.
forgot what year I graduated, but yeah, it used to be a big issue for me once I went back to school because like probably like 80% of all those young women at school were dressed very very provocatively I mean, obviously you know what I'm talking about, dude.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
know exactly what you're talking
you're in
about. Some more than
California.
others.
You're in California. I assume that down there in LA or whatnot, it's just as bad as the whole the hoish women who are up here as well. I mean, California is. I mean, I kind of assume that all high schools are the same at this point. All high schools are the same. But
Pretty much.
yeah, man, I just know. Wait, are you a senior or not?
Thank the Lord I am, bro. If not, then I
Okay,
would crash out. Oh, I'm
good,
so
good.
serious.
Yeah, once that's all done, dude, you're gonna have this huge relief because you'll be you won't feel kind of forced because there'll be times I'd be walking to my next class. I had those days where I would have 4 classes, other times it'd be 6. I think you have the same thing, right? Where like some days you have less, sometimes you have
Oh,
more.
well, I don't go to like a traditional type of school, so it's like a different type of schedule. But I'm not gonna like get into that. But yeah, I go to like I have three, or I guess you can say like four classes. I have government, civics, art, and math. So it's like three, four, because two of them are like the first period's government, then the other one is civics. But yeah.
Is it a block schedule? Is that what it's called?
I think so. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm talking about, block schedule. But yeah, even on days that I have block schedules, I'd have to walk sometimes across the entire school to get from class to class, and I'd have to take even longer sometimes because I'd have to literally look straight down or take a whole different route because I would literally try to avoid even being behind these kinds of whores. And
Yeah.
it's quite sad, but even sometimes I'm not online as much anymore. I don't have Instagram. I'm off of that. I don't really like using it anyways. But there's been times that I've been on there like months ago or whenever I have it on there. Sometimes I might come across someone who I knew in high school, and just seeing their profile, like it's just like nothing's changed. They've just gotten worse in how provocative they are.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of going across the school, like we don't have stairs in our school. I like the other one. They have stairs, not like inside but outside. But like I remember this one time we were on a field trip that was like near our school. But we were looking at art exhibits, and then I had to like walk up the stairs, and of course, I wasn't looking at their butts or nothing. But I just like waited to get some distance because like the stairs they went up and then like a little square flat area and then like they went up again after the flat area. So I waited till they got to like by the little flat area before I started walking up so that they can be like a lot ahead of me so that I didn't want to be accused of nothing. I'm like, oh Luke, another thing you might like to hear this. Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, something that I don't know when I started doing this, but just for like modesty's sake, and then also like I don't want no false accusations thrown on my name. Like when I pass a female in close proximity, something I tend to do now is I'll like put my hand in my pocket when I'm about to pass them. I don't know if that's stupid.
And what's the reason for that? Oh,
I
that
don't
they
know,
won't.
just like yeah, just so like there's no way that it can be like accidental touching. And if my hand was in my pocket, then how could I have like touched her real quick? I couldn't have. My hand was in my pocket. No, I'm weird.
I think it's valid.
Yeah.
If you're ever passing someone and you're in a slightly tighter space, turn your back to them. I mean, that goes without saying, but
Yes, that's what I do. Like whenever this sucks at work too, but like, whenever I have to like pass a female in a tight space, I just try to make sure my butt is towards them because I don't want no type of like I do not want any accusations thrown my way. It's not even more about like the lusting aspect because I'm not gonna lust after them, but I don't want no accusations on my name, bro. And if it's like one on each side, you're just gonna have to wait. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to graduate. I'm gonna send a video to the Discord. I made it. I'm out of prison, and I have nothing to show for it besides bringing two people to the faith. Hopefully they stay in it. It looks. I don't know. Hopefully it goes well. I might cry at my graduation. I don't know.
freedom finally.
Yes, it's gonna be so many emotions: pent up anger, freedom, relief, joy. Man, y'all trying to stay in here for another 5 hours and practice wakefulness?
You said practice wakefulness?
Yep, as
For
Peter
5 hours.
recognitions. No, I'm playing. The longest I'm gonna stay in here is like 10, and I feel like Luke's gonna head out.
Yeah, I'm
he's
going to
used
bed, guys.
opportunity. Yep.
Big bedtime.
All right, night,
Big
Luke.
bedtime. Good night, bro.
Right.
Farewell. Good night, everybody. God be with you.
God
God
bless.
bless.